We've all heard of the Great Wall of China, a series of fortifications built on the northern borders of historical China to protect it from northern barbarian invaders. But have you heard of the Wall of Rajgir? The Cyclopean Wall of Rajgir is a 40-kilometer long wall of stone which encircled the ancient city of Rajgriha, that is present-day Rajgir in Bihar, to protect it from external enemies and invaders. Most of the existing sections of the Great Wall of China are from the Ming era, that is 14th to 17th century CE, but the Wall of Rajgir was built sometime in the 6th century BC, making it one of the oldest examples of Cyclopean masonry in the world. The walls of Rajgir are more than 1,000 years older than the Great Wall of China, and yet most Indians would never have heard of this. So why is Rajgir important and what is its role in the history of ancient India? Let's take a look. Now, most of us have heard of the Mauryan Empire and know that Magadha was at the center of the empire of the Mauryas. But do you know that before there was a Mauryan Empire, an empire had already existed whose center was at Magadha? Around 600 BC in the northern Ganga valley, various small kingdoms and principalities called Mahajanapadas had emerged. Four of the Mahajanapadas were considered to be more powerful than the rest. These were Kosala, Vatsa, Avanti and Magadha. Among these four, Kosala was ruled by King Prasenajit and was the most powerful. Kosala corresponds to the present-day Awadh region. Kosala had conquered the neighboring kingdoms of Kashi and the Shakyas, making Kosala the dominant power. Kosala's eastern neighbor was the kingdom of Magadha, situated in today's southern Bihar region. So how did Magadha go from being a small kingdom to this almighty imperial power? There were several factors at play here. Magadha's capital was the city of Rajgriha, known by the names Vasumati in the Ramayana and Bhadrathapura in the Mahabharata. Rajgriha was also the capital of the legendary king Jarasandha. Rajgriha was surrounded by a perimeter of 5 easily defendable hills and could easily be secured against any external threat. Due to its proximity to the Chota Nagpur plateau, Magadha also had access to natural resources and raw materials like iron, copper, wood, etc. It was also closer to the forests in eastern India, which had greater populations of elephants which could be tamed and trained for sieges and battles. Due to its location in the middle Ganga valley, Magadha also had fertile soil and copious amounts of water, making the land fit for rice cultivation. Magadha was thus primed to become an imperial power. All that it needed was a powerful leader, and that leader was Bimbisara. Bimbisara became king at the young age of 15 years, sometime in the 5th century BC. Bimbisara was married to the sister of King Prasenajit, ruler of Kosala. He was also married to the daughter of the chief of the Vriji Republic, which was to Magadha's north. Having thus secured the western and northern boundaries of Magadha through matrimonial alliances, Bimbisara now focused on the east. Magadha had a long-standing rivalry with its eastern neighbor Anga. Bimbisara attacked the Mahajanapada of Anga and conquered it. Bimbisara also maintained diplomatic relations with faraway kingdoms like Avanti and Gandhara. The rise of Magadha under Bimbisara in 5th century BC was one of the most significant events in the history of ancient India. But the person who transformed the fortunes of Magadha met a tragic end. Bimbisara was imprisoned by his son Ajatashatru, and he would later die in prison. But the story of Magadha isn't over yet. Ajatashatru, the powerful Nanda dynasty, and then Chandragupta Maurya would later take the kingdom of Magadha to new heights. Around 250 years after Bimbisara, the Mauryan emperor Ashoka would still call himself Raja Magadhe or King of Magadha in his edicts. This shows Magadha's supreme position in the ancient Indian political landscape, and it was Bimbisara who had laid the foundations for this. From a small kingdom to an imperial power that would dominate the Indian subcontinent, the story of Magadha needs to be retold in Indian history.